UGA landed another commitment since the last time we did a video on them on Saturday. It was Atlanta DB Jonte Gilbert saying, quote, "I'm staying home, committing to the Dogs." Now, Georgia currently holding the number 4 ranked class in the country. And in today's video, I got the great Rusty Mansell from Dogs HQ. We're going to talk about the most important uncommitted targets for Georgia heading into the fall. But before we get going, Dog fans, make sure you hit subscribe to the best recruiting channel on all of YouTube, the On3 Recruits channel. Go ahead, hit subscribe for me, please. All right, let's bring on Rusty Mansell from Dogs HQ. Rusty, UGA recruiting has been, just burning all spring, all summer, and now here we head into the fall. UGA has the number 4 ranked class in America. We're going to talk about a few guys that Dog fans need to keep an eye on, and we're going to start with wide receiver Jerome Miles. He decommitted from Ole Miss in June. I got to ask, how involved is Georgia, and is this a name that fans need to know heading into the fall?
I definitely think it's a new offer that Georgia's had this young man on their board a while. You go through the summer kind of evaluation period and look at that. And if they can get him on campus, it sounds like he's going to take an official visit to Georgia during the season. I know Georgia wants to sign at least one more wide receiver in this class, possibly 2. So, yeah, I think when you offer someone from Utah, you got to think, hey, this is for real. And they got to get him on campus first. But I think this is a name for Georgia fans to know, and we'll just see where it goes from there.
All right. Now we talk about the big names that are still out on the board. Those are 5-star defensive linemen, Justice Terry and Elijah Griffin. And it's almost as if Georgia is holding a pair of pocket aces as they sit in the number 4 spot in the top 5, because Terry and Griffin are both leaning toward Georgia as we head into the season. Let's just say if Georgia is able to sign both Terry and Griffin, how would you rank this D-line class just from what you've seen over the last 10, 15 years in Athens?
I go back and look at the state of Georgia as a whole, Josh, and you go back to the 2013 class. They had Robert Kimdichie at the top, went to Ole Miss. He was a first-round draft pick. They had Montravius Adams from Dooley County. He was a first-round draft pick. Then you look at Carl Lawson, who was a high draft pick for the Bengals, and he is a high-level NFL player. So you take 2 interior defensive linemen and an edge guy. Well, you look at this class. Georgia has Isaiah Gibson, the number 1 edge in the country, already verbally committed at Warner Robins. Then they're trying to land these 2 elite guys. So when you start looking at the history of the state of Georgia, it's kind of ironic when you go back and look at that 2013 class, those 2 headliners at the top, an edge guy. What are they doing right now again? They got two interior defensive linemen in Terry and Elijah Griffin, and then you have a 5-star in Isaiah Gibson. A lot of similarities there. Georgia hopes to go 3 for 3 this time and not 0 for 3, Josh.
Yeah, they got the right formula, the right combination in there to make this a historic D-line class. Now, let's move on. Last Wednesday, I talked with Jake Rowe about 2 flip targets, CJ Wiley and Chance Linton. Wiley committed to FSU. Chance Linton committed to Rutgers. Now, today on this video, I want to ask you about 2 more. Boy, we're going to start with another Rutgers product. He's defensive lineman Braxton Kyle. He committed to Rutgers. He goes 6'4", 305. He's another in-state Georgia guy. What's the story on him, and why is Georgia picking on Rutgers?
I don't know they're picking on Rutgers. I would say Rutgers is doing a damn good job evaluating some guys, and they're probably like, please, dude, just leave us alone right now. But when you look at Braxton Kyle, a young man at North Gwinnett High School, great program, produced a ton of prospects. A lot of fans will know Barrett Carter, the former 5-star, who's an All-American linebacker, Clemson. He's from North Gwinnett High School. But you look at Braxton Kyle, 6'4", 305 pounds. He called Georgia his dream school. Well, he got his dream offer. We'll see how this thing plays out in the fall. But you start talking about in-state Georgia right now with 14 verbal in-state commitments in this class alone. It tells you, Josh, that Kirby Smart and his staff have flipped that switch, and they are recruiting with a heavy emphasis on the in-state kids in Georgia.
Speaking of in-state, linebacker Anthony Crua, he committed to UNC. He's from Marietta, Georgia. And he seems like another one that was this late eval. UGA now doubling back on him. What's the story?
Well, it's a little different here. Georgia offered him in the spring. Glenn Schumann went by and watched him practice and gave him an offer that night. They got him on a visit early in the summer. I think the 3rd weekend of June, they got him on campus. Credit North Carolina. They've been on him early. Jeremy Johnson, the recruiting insider for Dogs HQ, went to watch him play Friday night. And man, he was blown away at how good he is. I had a chance to work him out at a camp this spring. I was like, wait a minute, this guy's a damn good player. So I know that Georgia is all over him. They have not let up an ounce here. This is a major target for Glenn Schumann. The day he went and watched him practice, he offered him in person that night. So this is definitely a name to know. But right now, North Carolina has done a good job of holding on to him so far.
All right, Dog fans, let's talk UGA recruiting. Let us know, comment section below. How do we feel about some of these flip targets? Is Braxton Kyle and Anthony Crua up there with CJ Wiley and Chance Linton in terms of your wants? Let us know. Comment section below. Rusty with Dogs HQ. Thanks for stopping by the Inside Scoop today, talking a little Dogs recruiting.
Appreciate it, Josh.
Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.